everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we're looking at our Yakima EXO System here on our 2011 GMC Yukon. So the Yakima EXO System is a modular system where you mix and match different accessories. So you might be interested in it if, let's say, you have a roof rack but it's full with all of your other cargo and accessories, but you still want to carry more. Or if you happen to not be able to carry a roof rack on your vehicle and you do not have one, but you still want to take full advantage of your hitch, you may be interested in the Yakima EXO System. So let's take a look at the way our EXO System works on our vehicle. So we have the SwingBase right now, and our accessory on top is the Yakima DoubleUp bike rack. So the SwingBase is the lowest part of our system. So we'll take a measurement for ground clearance. Measuring from underneath the SwingBase to the ground, we have it at 23 inches of ground clearance over by the arms. Now, as for the closest point, it's gonna be over here at the end of the SwingBase, close to our vehicle. So we'll take some measurements over here as well. So this is gonna be the shank to the ground, and that's gonna be a distance of 20 inches from the bottom of that shank to the ground. We also have it where the closest point between the knob and our bumper is gonna be 3.5 inches. So that's how much clearance you have to work with from the back of the SwingBase to the back of our car. Now, the SwingBase swings away, which is part of its name, and to do so, you just have to rotate this knob here in the back and just rotate that all the way until it releases. So you may have to rotate a couple times. Good thing is there's a large knob there to help you out. And then you pull on this lever, and then you just push that base out until that knob in the corner catches it into place. So as you can see here, with it completely swung out, we now have full access to our trunk. See how that door has plenty of clearance between our door and our wheels of our bicycle. So this closes back down because here you can have that space to take out anything from your trunk, whether it be your tables, your chairs, your large cargo. You also don't have to worry about it making contact with your bike, since you do have about 6 inches of clearance between the end of the door and the end of your tire. Now, notice also how with this bike rack, you have full access to that bike rack. You have the front wheel mount right over here. You have the lever to access your bike right over here as well. That way you can lift it up on this side. And if you do have the second bike installed, you can dismount it over here as well. So let's swing this back first. To swing it back, you have this lever, lift up on that lever, pull this back in. This will go up the ramp and catch on the side. Then you have this knob, and that's gonna tighten down on the system. Double check that you have this fully secured, because this is what's holding your SwingBase secure as you drive around. So with that knob fully tightened down, let's talk about the bike rack we have on here. We have the DoubleUp bike rack with a weight capacity of 50 pounds per bike. So if you do have your kind of heavier electric bikes, as long as it's within 50 pounds, it will work on here. What I like about it is that it has a front wheel mount. So this mount comes up and secures our bike by our front wheel. That way we don't have to worry about getting a separate frame adapter bar, kind of like what you would need to use for a women's bike, children's bike, step-through bikes. With the traditional hook that comes down, with this front wheel mount, we don't have to worry about that at all. We also have a rear wheel strap. So this goes around your bike and secures and ratchets down at the end, and this can fit tire widths of up to 5 inches. So when you want to take your bike off, this is where you would start. You just press that lever, and then you pull up on that strap on one side. Just try to leave it to the side as much as you can so it doesn't get caught up in your spokes. Then you come over here to the front, hold on to your bike as you do so. As you reach over, press that button, lift up, push that hook out, and then you can take off your bike right over here. So we'll just leave this bike to the side so that we can take a closer look at the bike rack itself. So here we have this bike rack, which has that rear cradle, which can move back and forth depending on your wheelbase. That ratcheting strap that comes down and secures it tightly by the rear wheel. Then you have this front wheel cradle. So this is a large front wheel cradle, again for your wider or your shorter or thinner wheels. And this comes down and has a tab that it locks into to secure it as you're on the road. You also have this front wheel mount, which has an integrated cable lock. So each of the front wheel mounts have that lock. So I recommend getting extra Yakima locking cores. That way you can secure everything with just a single key. So with this is the bike rack version. With it on the SwingBase, it has a weight capacity of 50 pounds, but when you do get the top shelf and put it on the top, it then has a weight capacity of 40 pounds per bike. So we're gonna take a look at the modularity of our SwingBase, which is the most important thing about the Yakima EXO System. So first we're gonna unlock this bike rack by pressing those tabs in and then spinning our locking speed knobs right over there. So with those fully released, you can then just grab your bike rack and then put it to the side, and then you can grab another accessory. So in my case, I'm going to be using the Yakima Snowbank ski and snowboard carrier. So that just fits into those tracks just like that, and then you can lock it down. So rotate those knobs all the way until they're tight, and then press those tabs. So if you have it all the way in, you can then, there you go. That helps you out with figuring out if it's tight or not. Perfect. So with these, this is the Snowbank. So you can fit 5 pairs of skis or 4 snowboards. So 5 pairs of skis, 4 snowboards. You also have an extra wide opening here since you have a double joint in the back. That's going to be for your larger skis with larger bindings. And then this also has sort of a ratcheting knob at the end where it just clicks down to fully secure your skis or your snowboards. You also have a cushion here in the middle that's going to help out with that, as well as create a little bit more space depending on what you're carrying. You also have these large buttons, so even if you have extra large gloves, you just press on that and it pops right up. And when you want to secure it, if you still have extra Yakima lock cores, you can replace the plastic cores inside the Snowbank and replace them with metal locking cores, again, so that you only need to use one key to access the whole system. All right, so some extra measurements here is that the length added to the back of our vehicle with that out there from our bumper, right where the tab on our bumper is, to the Snowbank, it sits at 42 inches long. To the end of the SwingBase, it sits at 33¼ inches long. So the Snowbank is going to be the longest accessory on your SwingBase, so you're mainly going to have to worry with other accessories about that length of the SwingBase. So that's going to be the length you're going to have to consider whenever you're backing into your garage or trying to park into a tight spot. All right, so that was a look here at our Yakima SwingBase system. We took a look at the bike rack, we took a look at the Snowbank, but we also have a bunch of other accessories here at eTrailer, so check them out. But it's really good to know that it works well here on our Yukon. We have enough swinging out where we can access our hatch, and that's usually the most important thing with the SwingBase and the GMC Yukon. So that was a look at the Yakima EXO System with the SwingBase and accessories here on our 2011 GMC Yukon.